Lisa, would you please kindly introduce yourself to the audience and tell us what you do and your passion, your experience, and your work relevance?
My name is Lisa Raehsler. My company is Big Click Co. And I work with advertisers, different types of companies, small to medium sized businesses, and with larger agencies, and I do ads for them, the strategy and the implementation. And sometimes I help them, different agencies, with building teams or setting together policies or advertising product. And I primarily work with Google Ads, Microsoft Ads, LinkedIn Ads. Then there are many other platforms that I work with, depending on what type of advertiser it is. So sometimes people will want Pinterest ads or Facebook. I don't do a lot of Meta, but so it depends on what is most appropriate for the advertiser. A large focus on search ads, Google ads. And I've been in the business for about 18 years. I am active in the industry in that I write for Search Engine Journal and speak at conferences on the topic of PPC, pay-per-click ads. And I have had my newsletter for about, I have one on Substack and on LinkedIn. And I've had that for about definitely over a year. I really enjoy it, and that's how I came to get in touch with the um, She Writes AI community. So I'm really, it's very exciting.
Yes, it's exciting. So you mainly help companies like open a communicative channel with their audience, not just how to
Yes.
reach, but you open it like a channel to reach them in a respectful way for both of them to be mutual.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, which is it's important to learn, not just to target audience, but to know how to speak to them. It's like communication matters. It's not, it cannot be generalized but by to all audience, has to be specific sometimes. Okay.
Yes.
Your chapter is very, very eye-opening to many nuances and details that we always miss. Most of us miss actually the dynamic, how the game, how it's played, but in our lack of trust with platforms, that especially advertising is totally abused by platforms. So we don't receive it well. We as audience don't receive the advert, even with ethically, with good work. Some advertising, like some ads, are really brilliant. Famously, the one for me always, I say Coca-Cola are brilliant with their ads. They are masterpiece, and they stick in somehow. Like in this year in Super Bowl, this advertise of actually Anthropic and AI with a chatbot. It was really, it hit with many. That was brilliant as well. So in your part in your chapter, you talked about in the privacy and ethics and the cybersecurity, like which is touch with my chapter, the
Mhm.
consent gap. I talk about how people click through terms and conditions without reading them. From a marketing standpoint, what are users actually signing away when they interact with highly personalized AI ads?
So usually in those terms and conditions, you'll see that you allow tracking, you allow to be tracked across different websites, so they'll know what websites you visited, um, and sometimes across different apps. So you agree for them to look at your online behavior. Again, it's to track your consumer behavior, to try to figure out what you're interested in purchasing. And So there are a lot of those types of signals. I think those are important to read if you are very particular about giving up that information in your approval of the terms and conditions.
But from your experience in success communication channel, what is actually the equilibrium? What you should consult audience, accept this and reject this. It's like it's like where we can draw a line, because it's like no one reads them. They tend to be written tiny for a reason. So how do you recommend this is okay and this is not okay, especially if you are dealing for again for a child, for example, or like if you have a daughter or even a teenager kid, what do you want them to accept and what do you want them to not accept? Is there any line you can draw?
Is there a line I can draw? I think a lot of the apps or different online tools and platforms, they won't allow you to be part of it if you don't accept the terms and conditions. So then then in order for you to use it, Facebook, for example, you have to accept it. Then what you can do is you can go into, let's see, there's different, you have every platform has some sort of ad settings
Mm-hmm.
that you can then go through and you can select turn on or turn off different types of ad settings. And Google is a good one to look at because they go across all of their products, and every product that's connected to Google, every time you sign in through a different platform through Google, they're tracking all of that. They're taking that data. So you can go in there and you can make adjustments to it through the settings. You can also make adjustments on the settings through your phone. So that would be something you would need to look up. How can I turn on or off advertising through my phone? So it would be like allowing different apps to access your information, your microphone, your location settings. That's a big thing that I really personally do not like.
Yeah,
But they
I agree with you.
on your phone, and that's used for advertisers, obviously, to know where you're located if they want to serve you local ads. And then there's more sophisticated types of targeting where they'll try to target you while you're at a store.
I agree with you, but I think with Apple iPhone, you can even with you accept the terms and condition, you can still doesn't allow the app to cross-platform or cross apps. You can stop it. Your phone. I'm not sure about Android, but I know iPhone allow you to stop that
Yeah,
if you accept it.
I think we're saying the same thing, that you can
Yeah.
accept it and then you can go into your phone settings, you can
Settings.
go into your browser, you can go into your Google account, and there are more settings where you
You
can
will
turn on.
override. Yes,
Yes.
you will
Yeah,
override.
so the only thing that you risk by turning it off is that you're still going to be served ads, but you may be served ads by really strange things that have nothing to do with you.
It's true. It's like you cannot
Yeah.
skip them anyway. They become they are not a bug anymore. They are a feature, and take it or leave it.
Right, right.
Yes.
Right. So as a female, you might get ads for, uh, male-oriented products. So then you just have to deal with it.
Okay. The hidden architect of choice. Celeste Garcia, which is another author in one of the hidden architect of AI, wrote about
Mhm.
how consumer choice is still human and how much is being shaped by the predictive algorithm you study.
Okay, yes. Um, so AI doesn't force anybody to purchase anything. So as marketers, we don't see your personal information. What what we see is characteristics of a person, the demographics. So the most personal information that we get is their gender, age, location, things like that. And then we have different things we can choose, such as they're interested in purchasing an automobile, or they're interested in fashion. We see things like that. We don't see anybody individually on the list. And that helps us to identify who our audience would be. So the AI controls the ads that you see, in that we're picking out who we want to serve the ads to, but the AI isn't making anybody purchase anything. If we're doing our job correctly and the ad is relevant to you, you have the choice to click on it and purchase something or not.
Yes, but most of platform is predictive and statistics. So do you think that they are selling our information to companies so they can really customize and targeting their ads?
Who is selling it? Selling what?
The platform selling our information from our usage and tracking, like our data to target us with advert to the companies. Like this is how they tell the companies, here is the people they can click, because our predictive algorithm predicts their portion ratio to click is high. It's like they can segment us in 90% yes, or like 50%, or like this is no, this is how they target us. So I think it's reversed in a way that the platform is the one who is selling or exposing us to the companies to sell or advertise to us.
The advertising companies are collecting the information on you themselves. And so they're not outright selling it, only in that we can reach those audiences. So they're not selling like a list of people.
It doesn't sell you like a segment or like a persona.
Yes, it will show us like a segment or persona in that ad
Group.
platform. So
Yes.
for example,
Yeah,
like
a
in
persona.
Google, we can see that, but they're not selling us a list. They're letting us use the list, but we don't see who's on the list. It's not personally identifiable in any way.
This is remote. They're not gonna give you access to them. It's like
Right,
they need to
right.
be in the middle, so they just come to get like tariffs, like pay to enter, pay to access.
Yeah, the kind of I'm not really in that part of the business very much, but there are businesses that can sell your personal information. They're used for you they can be used for email, email addresses, direct mail. You can technically use them for advertising, but it's like a separate process. So if you have, insurance, and your insurance company sells its customers,
Yes.
whoever purchases it can do what they want with it. And that's a little bit different from what I work with.
So you mainly with platform and digital landscape mostly, most of the time. Okay, in the data trail, as a data engineer for myself, I focus on precisions of number. In marketing, how is AI taking our digital breadcrumbs and turning them into actionable insights for advertisers? Like how for you to get to convert is like I know you get the conversion rate, but it's like how do you track or turn this data in front of you to actionable insight on how to improve your product, or how to advertise, or how to communicate, or how to reach more?
So the data that they will collect is So this is across different types of platforms. So social media, for example, like Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest, they all act a little different. For Google, there's a lot of, what are they searching for?
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll look at what you're searching for, what sites you have visited. Sometimes on the social platforms, they'll look at your dwell time, how long you've looked at different kinds of content. They'll look for certain cues that will tell us that you're ready to buy something. So when you start out searching something, you are looking and your behavior is different than when you're closer to the sale, and you'll start searching differently when you're getting ready to buy something. And so all of that psychology behind it, we use to target the right messaging to you. So if you are just starting out in your research, we can serve you ads that are introducing you to our product, telling you giving you more information about the product. But then if you're farther down with your research and you're looking to purchase, we can sell you we can send you discounts or coupons or give you more closing type of language in the ads. So
So you don't
that's
just
how
flood the information. Yes, you don't flood the information. You make it like a journey. Let's like you walk me through like an introduction, promo, or like just to pull, like you call pull a leg, to just to lure me to get into or get hooked, which is psychology matter because I believe the first few seconds matter if we can click with your ad, or the color matter, the visuals, the tone of the voice. Everything really matters in the decision making.
right. So
You,
all of that data algorithms are they're they're analyzing it, and they're able to tell us that these people who like outdoor activities are looking to buy sporting equipment.
yes, they give you a kind of persona guide for a segment of people, which is not per person, but it's per group. Like when you
Yes.
sell it. In
Yeah.
your chapter, a major theme in the book is AI can boost smaller retailer and solopreneurs. How does AI level the playing field for a small business owner who doesn't have a massive marketing budget? Because it's really huge budget. I know people who can
Right.
spend. There was a case of a company who spent $2 million on Google Ads and get no revenue from it, which is
Right.
huge.
Right. So yeah, it used to be that only that larger companies had the advantage because they have bigger teams, they have, more brain power behind running the ads. All of the things that I'm talking about require a human to look at what the AI is giving us. So, but now we have more features that are in the platforms where smaller advertisers can get help from AI on who is the right audience to target, and help them with creating the ads and with managing their bids and their budgets, and optimizing the campaigns as they're going. So they have a much more level playing field now to use those AI tools. And, also external chatbots like ChatGPT or Claude to help them write, and to also create a basic strategy to get started. So it's like the best time for small businesses to get started.
But this platform now is offering, they are going to remove the middleman, like they are going to remove the expertise that can help me, because this field is not just consumer behavior. It reflects as well as there is a lot of psychology in it.
Mhm.
So once you remove this part, it becomes my judgment. For example, I'm a data driven person. My judgment when it comes to marketing can go astray because I'm dealing 1+1. And if I remove the human factor of decision making or circumstances, the timing, other factors, if I don't have this input, my judgment will be wrong, even with ChatGPT, because I'm going to give ChatGPT wrong input. My prompt will
Right.
be missing. So
Right.
this one can be, I think it will need training, because most people doesn't understand about marketing. They think it's like, I always, I'm very, very poor in marketing. It's like I did my MBA, and I failed in marketing twice, and marketing is not an elective. It was actually a core subject, and I had to convert to mastering finance, get my credit, and remove, because I couldn't finish my MBA because of the marketing. And for me,
Really? Well,
yes,
I'm glad you confessed that.
yes, and I feel it's like in my MBA, I have only credit hours after 2 years in London. It's like I couldn't, and my professor told me, it's like I thought he hates me, but it's like no, and uh, I'm not into it. And for me, it is the art of separating people from their money.
Right.
So I couldn't, because most of the marketing, and I'm talking about like maybe 15 years ago, not now with all this digital thing. It's all about how to build layers on the, it's like sugarcoat things, which is I did not like. And this is
Sugarcoating.
why, yes, sugar, it's filled of sugar coating. So it's like, which I didn't like. So for me, it's like, you tell me what you want, and I tell you yes or no. So I'm not selling. I'm always pro consumer. It's like, I tell you, don't do this, go for that. And because I want to be honest with you. And I remember when we used to do like SWOT analysis and all, like a campaign. For me, I used to write just bullet points: 1, 2, 3, 4, do this action. And he wants me to write. And the exam was only about 2 cases, write a case. And I finished them in 1 page. It's like I put him bullet point, and tell me this is not a marketing. Marketing, I want you to write. And I tell him, but I don't know. It's like, and for me, it's really dark landscape for me, because it consists of playing. You need to play with words. You need to tweak things. You need to sugarcoat, to wrap things up, to make it, to build it in an attire that maybe that fit or doesn't fit, but it fits your narrative. And I get lost in this.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you said you're thinking, just tell me if you want it or not. And I'm thinking, I want to tell you about it so you can tell me if you want it or not. I have to tell you about it first. I want to tell you, what about the product, what the benefits are for you, what it does, how it compares to other products like this. And then you can tell me if you want it or not. But I want to give you that information. And how I don't, you could say it's sugarcoating, but I want to tell you the advantages to using the product.
If you
We
are,
want to,
yes, the problem is there is one problem of this one is, I'm gonna call it ethic issues, because there's some products are really good, are actually they are selling themselves without even you talking, because they are actually a need, a desperate need by all of us. So it's like
yeah.
people know and go, like for example staple foods, or some or like certain makeups, you just go, you don't you don't worry about the differences, because the minimum requirement is already met. But it's like there is another product, which is companies, which is, this is what I want to help audience or everyone to learn or discern the difference between them. That they are not needed, they are not necessary, they are actually a burden, and they are sold. They are using they are using with the same technique, and they are abusing the marketing technique. And this is why
Mhm.
marketing has a bad name, because it's
Mhm.
like it comes because there is product which is actually good, and what with no effort they are going to make a good sell. And there is another product, like for me, the example will take, for example, pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals, all their adverts, although aggressive, also persuasive, they are very, very bad. They always hide certain things inside, and they force doctors, if you sell from this more, you do this. Like, for example, Ozempic, GP1, but no one tell us about the side effects. So this kind of marketing for me is not about the product, it's about the technique that is being abused to fit a narrative and is being abused. It went from ethical, it's not for the consumers, it's capitalist based. And they are the
Right.
majority now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to absorb and to take apart. But I think every industry has bad actors. There are there are policies and there are rules in place. For example, I'm not an expert on like pharmaceutical marketing, but I know in advertising, but I know that they are required in the commercials in the US to talk about the side effects. And I I to prepare for our meeting, I wanted to bring something up. So
Yes, please.
I had to pull this up on my other computer because, for example, with every platform has advertising policies on what they can advertise and what they can't advertise. And so, for example, I have this one for Google Ads. So we can't advertise the sensitive interest categories, and this includes abuse and trauma, alcohol, birth control, clinical trial recruitment, crime, gambling, health, and marginalized groups, political affiliations. There's a very long list.
Yes.
So if your products like touch one of those, for example, I have a client that is a psychiatrist. They have a practice of psychiatry. It's very hard for us to advertise them because they're in a sensitive category.
Wow. Because it's like you've seen especially I'm in Mexico, like even on Spotify, like sometimes some ads, and even in gaming, they are totally offensive. Sometimes I report them if I catch them, but I think they find a way to bypass them. I know the list exists, but if you pay more, I don't know how it works, but sometimes they bypass them, especially with nudity. It's like, especially on Instagram, you will find a lot of them. But catch them, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
they change a lot, but they exist. And TikTok
Yeah,
is full.
so the most of the well, I think every platform the ads go through an approval process that machines, that AI has to approve. And so yeah, things will slip by. Things
Yeah,
people do try to get away with things for sure.
I
So,
think
if the
one thing from a security perspective, system is meant to be broken. There will always, even by overload or by bad actors, they are not perfect. They are not immune of anything.
Right.
Yes,
And most of those platforms also have a way that people can
abuse.
report them. So there
Yes,
is that other layer where, consumers can report the bad ads. Also going back to, I wanted to mention something else is that, you're saying deceptive advertising, you're talking about an aggressive advertising. Um, you know, Consumers do have the responsibility to do the research. If you touch no advertising and you go to buy a car, you're still probably going to make yourself educate yourself a little bit on that process.
the driver's
So it is consumers' responsibility to read the labeling of products and to read the reviews. Reviews are
yeah,
huge, right? We're so lucky that we're in a digital age where look at, you know, hundreds of reviews of a product and really not just by the stars, but by, you know, people writing their reviews about how the shelf
Like
looked when they hung it on the wall or if it fell off the wall, you know, and
it's
it's
true.
just that is really important, taking responsibility for our choices.
I think people are starting to do active in reviewing after actually the scandal of Amazon when they generated bots to write review on products. So you used to give, if you are selling on Amazon, you can hire a bot to write reviews for you. And once this one was exposed, people start saying, no, we are going to stop it. It's going to be human reviews, and people start reading them. I usually read them when I order something from Amazon to check how it is, what
So do
people
I,
say.
yeah.
Yes, it's very important, which is actually our part to participate and not to be taken for granted. The due diligence is actually on us. The
Mhm.
accountability in advertising actually matters. You discuss what we can do to protect our privacy if a company uses AI to target vulnerable population. Where does the ethical responsibility lies with the algorithm, the marketer, or the platform? Who will be responsible for it? The accountability. We have three actors: the algorithm, the marketer, and the platform. Because the algorithm is biased, and the marketer is actually biased as well to his product and the company vision or mission. And the platform is as well biased to the stakeholders.
Yes, but they do have the policies in place about, you know, against vulnerable population and with the sensitive categories I was just talking about. So they do have that in place. And you know, like we were talking about, some of those things might slip through the cracks. It's the responsibility of the platform to keep those algorithms updated as much as possible. You know, one of the really cool things that they do is they have, I forgot what it's called, but I think it's like um natural disasters
Yeah.
and like uh events that uh bad events that happen, so that people can't take advantage of, you know, targeting people that were just in a natural disaster, or if there was like I can't think of an example, like a violent event that just happened in their area, taking advantage of people.
Yes,
So
you remember
they even have that in place.
Facebook had a case when someone was totally bullied and they asked him to hang herself, and she was a teenager who hanged herself live. And until actually one was on the live, and they called 911. By the time it was, she was already dead. It was actually one of the scandals, as like how they allow this one a live stream. And the bullying, I don't see it. It's not. It's going to not to be in Google Ads, but it's actually in a different accountability that this aggressive thing, when we are going to deal with machine, they are going to be bypassed by tons.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we need to have like a policy maker to enforce some accountability on certain on the three players. On each part of us has
Yeah.
to have his own weight, not to keep it loose. So it's going to be like, you know, being bonged between each other. It's like it's yours, it's not. I'm pointing fingers. It has to be really explicit in
Mm-hmm.
policy, the accountability and legality. Who's going to be paying for it if he cross lines?
Right.
Uh,
I think,
yes,
yeah, I think there are a lot of checks that are in place, but we can never predict what could happen.
but
It
are they
seems like it's
enforced?
what?
They enforced this checks.
Yes. Right.
Someone checks
Yeah,
them.
it's mhm. Yeah, it's definitely not a perfect system, but so that, you know, the organic posting and the lives, that's not something that the advertising is affected as much. It's more if someone wanted to take advantage of, if there was a hurricane and someone was a bad, unethical advertiser and tried to sell
Like
them
force majeure or like life,
instructions of
nature.
supplies.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have rules in place. Would somebody be able to sneak through? Probably.
Okay, in the part of actionable and awareness, the how-to for protection for the leaders and parents listening who are worried about their data. What are the top practical steps you recommend to regain control on how their information is used in the advertising ecosystem, apart from the ads we say in the settings to get it? If you have extra tips, especially for parents,
For
um,
parents,
yes, it's like how to protect or to amplify the privacy or to protect ourselves from invasive advertising or bad actors, or how to discern between them.
I think I'm going to stick with the settings.
Mhm.
Okay, going through the settings. I am going to also say when you have a minor, a child that's using devices, there are often many places in the device settings and on the platforms where you can note that they're a minor or they're under 18 or something that would, from that platform perspective, hopefully be editing it. Even even the streaming services do that. So you have to be a very um, really paying attention to that as a parent. Those settings that are set up for for children, and it's something that I worry about. But but also doing manual checks on your child's behavior on their devices. So
That difficult with this generation. It's like they like to keep their own space, and they are very very savvy with tech and devices. They know how to
right.
override things even in younger age. It's like they learn from each other and they pass tips. It's
Yeah,
better.
it's hard to stay one step ahead of them, but I mean, it is like it is being um getting in there and looking to see what they're doing. Oh, you can get software that monitors their activity, and if they're logged into Google, you can see their online usage. So you can see like what videos they're watching, what they're searching for, and monitor their device that other way. So there are a lot of different ways, and so I think doing all of that would can really help,
Yeah,
weed out a lot of
especially.
the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, it's true. What is your take? Now there are lots of talk about introducing the digital citizen, and it's like a digital ID, and this is going to expose some personal information from us. I know that you, as a marketer, you don't receive a PI information; you receive only persona. But what is your take, or what is going to have an impact positively and negatively in advertising if they enforce the digital ID, which is going to include
Uh,
our faces now?
yeah, you might have to edit this out because I don't know a lot about that.
Okay, so yeah, because actually, I believe this is going to help a lot of bad actors to get to target more vulnerable people. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually against it because it's not going to be immune. We cannot protect or secure it in a way to keep vulnerable people out of any harm. This is my
Mm-hmm.
take. And, I know that advertising will be happy with it. It's going to give them another segment to dig into it, but it's like I don't know. Okay, for the closing and promotion is like for Substack deep dive, you publish a newsletter as part of our community. What is
Mm-hmm.
one specific hack or marketing trend you have shared there recently that reader can find and they follow? with like any tips you wrote about or any hacks that you want to share with your audience?
One of the recent articles, I talk about how as as a marketer, if you're promoting your business, we're looking at more conversational search. So rather than the previous way of targeting keywords or anticipating what people are searching for, we want to link it back to entire conversations through intent. And that's what we're getting more through AI, is more of that conversational stuff. And that's also what Google is looking at, more than just like the one-to-one. The keyword they searched for a Jeep car, just looking at their entire conversation that they're having with the AI. So I think that's really interesting when you think about who you want to reach with your product or get someone in your store.
Okay. You mentioned in the beginning that you help in LinkedIn and Google Ads and another platform. So what is the difference? What is the distinction, or where do you recommend, for example, let's take our book, how to market it in each platform. What is going to be the strategy or the trajectory you want us to follow or steps so we can reach more audience?
Oh, okay. So each of the platforms have their own personality.
Exactly.
And so LinkedIn is more B2B, more
Okay.
business, right? And Google is really more just general. It's really like everyone. It
It's
really
everything.
is. Right. It really is everything. It's really more general. But LinkedIn, you have more B2B. With Microsoft Ads, you get a little bit more Microsoft Ads. You get a little bit more more business, more education, higher income levels, because a lot of businesses have Microsoft products. That's why.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I saw always people rely on Google most of the time, not Microsoft, but this is what new
It's
to know.
tied into the it's tied into the Microsoft products.
Package.
So they're using
Yes.
Teams and Outlook and everything, and it's right in there.
But
And with
LinkedIn is
Copilot.
Microsoft too, right? LinkedIn is Microsoft.
Yes, so Microsoft does own LinkedIn, but LinkedIn only advertises on their platform.
Okay. Let's talk on LinkedIn. For example, LinkedIn, most of the people, I'm not going to say the word phony, but I'm going to say the word they exaggerate a lot. It's
Yes.
with all this title and things is like the hype. You know, it's not the real thing. How do you find, even you advertise, how do you target this person that you know he's not amplified, he's not sugarcoating what his experience and resume.
We can't.
Even as a person, you cannot.
No.
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 Is there any tone you would recommend when you address or marketing technique on LinkedIn? Like the verbose or the verbiage can be different? Or you make an advert that you can put it here and there, it's going to work the same?
It's totally different from Google, for example. So, Google will show up in search results and it will show up on different websites and Google products. And Microsoft is the same thing in their search engine, in the Microsoft products on different partner websites. LinkedIn, the ads basically only show up on LinkedIn. So you're on the website using LinkedIn and you see the ad, and there are a lot of different types of ads. There's video, there's lead forms, there are those carousels where there's many different
Yes.
images. So there's a lot of different things, and it's unique because you can target people by their anything about their career, all of those data points with their career. So you could target company, their job description, their seniority. You can target by their location. So it's all work oriented. So if you have a product, like maybe you're selling a software product, like an accounting software, then you know who buys accounting software, you can target them in their business there on LinkedIn. It's very hard to do that on Google.
Yeah, because you can really target for you know who you can see it with who you are talking to. But for in Microsoft and Google, they sell it, but they're the gateway. It doesn't allow you to. You don't know who see it and who doesn't. You just see numbers at the end.
You don't know, you can't, they don't have a lot of, they don't really know where people work. So the people that are using
I see.
that
I
are
see.
searching on Google, they could be working anywhere, and they're using like a personal address. So we don't get a
Yeah,
lot of business information through Google. So
yeah.
yes,
I
they all
got
have
this.
their own,
No,
yeah, they all
it's
have their own personalities. So if you look at TikTok, that's a completely different audience, and people are
different
there
audience,
for
different
entertainment. Yeah, it's really
different
fun.
mood.
And yeah, so I mean, I hope that I've changed your mind a little bit about advertising, because it's really fun.
It
There's so
is
many
fun. It's
things
just,
that we
no,
can
no,
do.
trust me. I know people who can sell you. It's like the air you're breathing, and they are talented in this because it's the art of word. But they do eye contact. They do the touch. Eh, um, they know how to be human. They know how to be empathetic. They know how to be a good listener. It's a talent. For me, it is not. It is not like a playbook. It's they read you, they understand your cues, they feel you, and they engage, and they know how to get sticky. And like I have friends like I'm telling you, she know how to sell the air. This is how I always say it, but it's not for everyone. Because selling is something, and marketing is a strategy. It's a plan. It's a journey. There is a lot of intricacy and complexity in it. But selling is all about talking, and some people are very very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no. It's not. I fall short into this because my brain is wired with numbers and facts. But it's like this is doesn't mean it's not about good or bad. It just doesn't fit me as a person, as Farida. But it's like I know people. It's a talent. Like they, without any training, they know how to convince it. Because like I'm good in negotiation, but I'm not good in marketing, which is
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's big. It's very hard to get it, but it is true. Marketing it's has the human aspect. You cannot remove it. You cannot get it out. It's not about number. It's more human. It's like let's say 80% human contact and 20% facts. And
Right,
for me, I'm the opposite. I want 80 or 90% or maybe 100% facts, and it is what it is. You decide.
right.
Which is
Yeah,
different
and there's
dynamic.
more, right, and there's more than just facts to when you make a purchase. You know,
Yeah, it's
a lot
a
of
lot of
purchases
psychology.
are emotional, for better or for worse. So,
Yeah, and it's the human aspect actually plays a major factor in any decisions. And we as a mimicry society, because actually this is our it's the default in all of us. Sometimes I see you wear something and I like it immediately, and I ask you where did you get it or how to subscribe me into it. So word of mouth is still for me is number one.
hmm
The selling, because it comes with trust. The rest is it has a shoulders like from the way that like okay, it's immune from any bad reviews or anything, because you've seen it, you felt it, you connect to it, and the attachment is real, and you cannot be separated otherwise until the attachment is broken.
right,
No, I believe word of mouth is number one. Is a marketing technique. It's the best one and the best deal you can get with word of mouth. Okay, if reader takes one lesson away from chapter 17, what do you hope it is regarding the relationship with the AI everywhere in their social media feeds? What do you want them?
I
What is the message you want to deliver? Like summary of it.
I think what I want people to take away from it is to sort of dispel some of the myths around how and why there people are seeing these ads and what the purpose is, and that we have more control over it than it seems.
Oh,
As a
really?
consumer,
Yeah.
yes, we talked about that, like
Yeah.
the different settings. You don't have control over everything digital, which isn't the um doesn't fall on advertising, but you can choose not to use certain platforms, or you can choose to use like the paid version of things. That's just the way. But I think it's important to learn what your options are, and it's not all nefarious. Advertisers are trying to get their messages out, and they're trying to build their businesses, and um, the majority of them are just trying to deliver the right message to someone, and they're not trying to pull anything over, and they're really trying to establish trust, because that's how they do sell things and they do make money, is being
For
ethical and make sure,
yes.
if the consumers have a bad experience and distrust them, they will get nowhere. So
Is there any metric you recommend for the company owner to follow to know that the advertising is working? Like, because not to consume their budget. It's like how to not drain their budget in marketing with ads in these platforms. What they should focus on to keep them on track.
so
Value for
that
budget. Yes.
I mean, that would be like another half an hour conversation, because if you're into data, you would love this part. So maybe we could have a follow up, because we look at a lot of different data points to determine if something is working, and
Yes.
it includes like um uh how people are searching, how they're clicking through on the ads, or if they're not clicking through, if they're looking at video, how they're interacting with the video, um, if they um, if they convert or purchase from the ads, how long it takes them, um, how much their order value is. If they purchase again, we're looking at a lot of different things, and the calculations can go from like just the ad spend to the sale, to all the way into the business margins. So that's where the numbers get super
Very
complicated.
interesting. Yes. Is there a minimum budget you recommend any solopreneur to start with or to consider in each platform to start with?
There I don't think there's not really a minimum, but there will be a certain amount where the ads won't run because they're not a big enough budget. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
So yeah, so if you have so say you wanted to just spend like $10 a day, you probably wouldn't be able to do that, because it's just not enough for the ads to
For
technically run.
the algorithm
Yeah.
to run in your favor,
Yes. Yeah. So it will
which
st
makes
it will stall out most of the issues for those smaller budgets. It just has to do with um there's not enough money to run it,
if things
rather than
goes
the
well, if there is a budget and there is a good product and there is a marketing campaign. From your experience, what is the success rate in ads in return of value to render conversion rate? It's like an average. It's like if there is a good campaign and good strategy happen, is it success rate can reach like 50%, 70%, like average? If it's done properly, everything done per book.
You mean on the conversion rate?
Yes, it's like what is the render? Is like if you paid like 5,000 or like 1 million, it's going to render to you in
You're
purchases
not,
or
you're,
sales. You get
you
a
will not,
rate.
you will not like my answer because it depends on the industry.
Yes, of course.
It, de- it depends on the industry. It depends what they're selling.
Sure.
And it depends like the purchase price of the item. For example, the more expensive something is, the lower the conversion rate will be.
Okay.
Retail has a completely different conversion rate from like B2B.
But it's like
So
average. It's like if you can give us an example, it's like generally the average is going to be like go for it. If you are in this industry, go for LinkedIn. You can get approximately this ratio if you play it right. Go to Google or Microsoft in this industry, like just as an example for people to understand, because there's some people I know a lot that they pour like 10 or maybe 100 and they're not rendering anything because the algorithm is not working in their favor because the amount is small.
I think okay, I could just say like say for example, you're selling a product, you might see a like a lower cost product, you might see like 6 to 7%
Mhm.
conversion rate. And if you're doing something like let me think, something like say a software trial,
Okay.
it's like a free trial, you'll see maybe like 15% conversion rate. So that's where I mean it really depends on what type of thing you're doing, and where the audience is in the buying cycle, where I talked about earlier, like if they're just starting to research or if they're getting closer to purchasing. So that's where all that math comes in, and all of the tricky stuff that we need to look at to determine that. But if we knew all of the variables, you an experienced person can give somebody an estimate on that.
Yeah.
If I sat down and someone answered like 10 questions for me, I could do like an estimate and say, okay, approximately 6%, and it would be about this much per click. We could do that, but just in the general world, there's not like one number, but it's not like 50%. I
It's
wish.
like you
No.
remind me. I used to work in REIT in real estate investments, and I was focusing on hotels, selling hotels from one portfolio to another. And I used to fight with the marketing team because I want to tell them, for me, I'm only revenue and numbers, and they just want to make, for example, for the new restaurant or to make, or even pamphlets or anything, and advertising. And I would say, if you don't convert, I will cancel it. I'm not going to keep it going. So I usually give them budget for 1 or 2 months, and if there is no success rate, I turn it off. Because I tell them either I never get it. It's like either your campaign is wrong or either your number is wrong, and I need to stop the bleed from
Mm-hmm.
revenue. Is like I understand totally in companies how marketing they fight for budget. It's not easy. It's like to justify a budget. Uh,
Right.
it's a huge different conversation because they need to they are talking about projection and perspective that it's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult to articulate or to reach, and sometimes doesn't work, and they fight a lot for budget, and this is why I don't know what is the answer when someone should I do adverts on platform, and I say I don't know, because it's a different game. I know it works for some and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't for many, so, but I
Yeah,
don't know
that's totally true. Well, when it doesn't work, it's usually because like
it's not
you
luck.
said, they're not on the right platform. They're not on the could be budget. They're not on the right platform. They're not targeting the right audience. they could sometimes these things fall apart because they have a horrible website.
It's true. This is why I
A
don't
lot of
believe.
times.
Yes, you cannot remove the man in the middle, like your people who offer your service. It's very important because actually, the only data is not enough, because how they are pulled together and how they are connected, it is not easy to understand. And if you pass it even to ChatGPT or AI, if you don't give them the right prompt, it's going to give you the wrong answer or wrong strategy with
That's
hallucination,
true.
it's going to get even worse.
Yeah.
So I hope
Well,
people speak and AI doesn't take your segment or your service and to commodify it and keep you, because your expertise is really relevant for the success. It's really an important break and input into any success for to render value. So, do you think there is anything we did not touch, or you want to touch, or I missed something in our conversation today?
no, we've covered it all. The
Yeah.
sun is coming in. The
Yes.
sun is coming very aggressively in. So
Yes.
I have to leave now.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. But if you, where audience should follow you or reach you if you want to follow your work, what's the name of your, if you want to talk about your newsletter on LinkedIn and on Substack, so people can follow
The
you?
the paid media mix. The paid media mix
And,
is on Substack and also on LinkedIn.
okay. So this is where they are going to get more benefit from you. Lisa, thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
actually no, for your time and answering my questions. Um, and hopefully people will enjoy it and learn from it.
Hopefully. I'm counting on it. Thanks. Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
No, thank you so much.